What's going on? What's this music in the background? Actually, it's from this album here, which is featured on the R.Robbins show today. So if you want to find out more, watch the show in a minute. We've got more Commodore versus Spectrum. We journey back to 1989. I've powered up the flux capacitor. Yes, and we're going to have a look at that game over there as well. So join me now for a bit of retro fun on the retro weekend. And I've got to stop saying the word retro because Simon Butler doesn't like it. Love that guy. Champion. Welcome to another episode of R.Robbins, where we go back to 1989 this time round. So travel back with me in time as we reveal what was in Crash September number 68, as a matter of fact. So we're going to have a look at one or two games that was reviewed in that magazine, give them the re-review R.Robbins treatment, and give them a marks out of 10. And there's some great games on that as well. We got some lights in our eyes. Northern Lights, a time trial game, a pretty good one that's come from Russia. It's a racing game, and we're going to give that a play as well. We're going to rectify an error that I made in last week's show when I reviewed Sophie 2. But I played the B-side because the B-side was actually on the A-side and the A-side was on the B-side, so the stickers must have been the wrong way round. And I played the bonus game, which was like a hunchback game. So let's complete it by playing the actual game itself, which is something we're going to do in a moment. And of course, as always, with the R.Robbins show, we'll have a bit of Commodore versus Spectrum towards the end and see who wins. Good victory for Spectrum last time round, and well deserved, I feel, after they'd lost about 4 in a row to Commodore. So they broke that losing streak. Also, as always, today's show will be run on real hardware. That's right, for Spectrums, we're using a Toast Rack, and we're also using the Engo clone, which hopefully will be replaced by the Spectrum Next, if all goes to plan, with one slight delay, that is, of course. We've had a bit of an update. Yes, they've had a couple of delay issues, but they're just working tirelessly to give us the high quality product that we backed on the Kickstarter campaign. As always, a big thank you to Richard Hollins who'll be sending me some bleeper music which I've bought on a CD album off him, which looks really good. And of course, thank you to everybody else who involved in the show to put it together for you. So before we move on to the first game, of course, is there anything else I need to tell you? No, I think we're all done here. So let's have a look at today's first newish game. There we go. You've probably seen it before. It's going to be a platformer. Bringing on the music slightly, and not too loud today. Nice loading screen. And it's a game by Higgs 2021. So we can use keyboard, which is QAOP and M space, but you can load another version which uses the opposite key. So you haven't got the option of redefining the keys. However, there are 2 versions you can load with 2 separate different key combinations. You've also got your Kempston and you've got your Sinclair options. We're going to go for keyboard simply because it's more responsive. I'll give you a small brief chance to read that, of course. And now I am a true, fully formed patron of the Retro Cave. So I just think what he's doing there, building a great little museum, is worth my time and a bit of my money, which is not going to hurt. Perhaps you too could also get involved, become a patron or either that or Mark Fix's stuff, and help them to achieve their dreams. We're opening a science, well, you're opening a computer retro museum, aren't you? Another one which can't be bad. I also support the the Centre for Computing History. Computer for Computing History? That could be a new one. Who knows? The Centre for Computing History, which is run by Jace, of course, who really knows his stuff, especially when it comes to BBCs. Also does a class there. So if you want to pay that a visit, that'll be opening shortly. And of course, I'm going to try and get myself, see what my money situation is, of course. I'm not man-made of money. To see if I can put a Patreon for Mark Fix's stuff. Why not? He needs a good supply of those gummy bears, and we wouldn't want him to run out of them now, would we? Okay. So let's, you've had a chance to read all of that. Now you've got a like little jar time limit, and you've got like what seems to be a what do they call it? I was going to say Death Star, but it's not. It's a shuriken, I think it is, isn't it? If you throw your shuriken, you've already got it. You can recollect it. Collect those to bring your time back up. You don't lose your shuriken if you're fairly quick. You have to be quick, and guess what, that's just appeared down there, so we can re-energise and move on to the next screen. And you've got a certain amount of time to get through, otherwise and this is where things get really nasty. Now we're down here, we can okay, now we can see that we've got a little time jar there, and hopefully we'll get there before we run out. There we go. And this is roughly what you've got to do basically, is get through all these screens. If you can kill the monsters on the screens, and I mean we've got to get up here to go across these branches, haven't we? Right, what do I think of the game? Well, it's got great AY music, hasn't it? To be honest. Too busy talking, not paying attention what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Got him. Oh, I missed him. So now, because that's gone off the screen, I don't know if I'm going to have this... Yes. So I can go and click that now. That will re-energise my time. Oh, it's not time, it's like little vases. As you can see, there's a little like, skull and crossbones up here if you ain't careful. That's not good, but fortunately... Oh, not fortunately at all. I can run through, Wayne. There's a key there. We've got to collect by jumping on those branches to the cheese, but I need to grab that first. It's not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. You've got to be fairly fast. You can only jump so high, so obviously to get to that tree there, you've got to... I nearly lost my shuriken then. You've got to go all the way down to here. Shuriken, is it a shuriken? I don't know whether that's a proper name or not, you know. Yeah, I know, I was running out of time, I just about made it. I just about made it and then died. Oh, I've got to get to that vase quickly. Can I jump up there? No. Doesn't matter, I've made it there. We'll have a look at some more screens. You can climb up those tight ropes. Ooh, that was close, wasn't it? Oh, no problem. Barely an inconvenience. Oh no, I've lost me. Oh, I was trying to fire up and I failed. Yeah, an interesting game. Nice little bit of use of AY sound. Great little platformer, and with a time. So if you kill all the monsters on the screen, you get one of those little jars. You're able to proceed, but you do have to collect other items as well. Difficulty-wise, it's not easy. You need to get things right first time. So if you get things right first time, it's not a problem. Otherwise, you start to be fighting against the time limit. It's a reasonably good design game, to be fair, for a platformer. My rating for that one, well, I'm going to give that one a 7.5 out of 10. And that's available on download too. Don't forget to tip the coders if you can do so. Please do so. It helps them, and of course a lot of the times they're not making any profit off it. They're just getting a little bit of reward, even giving them a drink for what they do. Unless you're going to go to somewhere like Bubblesoft or Bitmap Software where you can buy the physical tapes. That's great as well for your own retro enjoyment. Let's move on then. Reset the computer. Fear 2. This is the one that I should have reviewed in the first time round. So we'll go for the go. And level 1, it's usual keys, QAOP, and I believe it's space. It's a maze game. Oh, oh look, he chased me. I just had no chance there. You lose energy as you... I'm going to collect that, I think. Oh no, you can't collect anything there. Not the easiest thing to kill these bad boys. This is a case of timing to get past that. I'm down to 14, as you can see. You've got your energy there, which is like a little cross, and boom. You start off exactly where you die, so if you're in the middle of something that's killing you, then it's bad news because you're probably going to lose a bit of energy as well. Oh, and there we go. I started again from there. Oh, I've collected something. And obviously I shouldn't have walked into that. Let's try a different route, shall we? Now the map is quite sizable. And I quite like the game, to be honest, but I do so much better before they actually start recording. That's always the way. Only criticism is, I wish it didn't take so many blows for you to kill the baddies that are on the screen. Once they're eliminated though, it's usually fairly easy to get round to the next screen. It took about 3 blows for me to get to him, or that sort of snake that's just literally... Oh, you do get items as well when you kill. I forgot about that. You do get items if you kill a certain number of things. I think I was lucky there, but well, less said about that, the better. Luck is nothing to do with it. It's pure skill. Get out of the way, and there you go. And there's my skill talented wasted already. Hopefully the autofocus doesn't play up too much. Oh, you touch them skull and crossbones, it's fairly deadly. So you have to be pretty accurate getting around the maze. Oh, he couldn't have timed that better, could he? Now, last time I hit that, I ended up at the start, so it's either going to kill me, which we'll check that now. Yeah, put your straight, game over. I'm not happy about it. Come on. Ah, you get 20 in now. There we go, Retro 27. Little colourful star based scoreboard, and yeah, that's a game I should have reviewed last week. So what do I make of this game? Well, I've got to be honest, I'm on the score sheet, so it can't be too bad. Hold on a minute. Yes, my sister's interrupted me with a phone call while I was recording, so I do apologise about that. Hello, Susan.
Hello, brother.
There you go. Impeccable timing as always. She has some dreadful things to say about me, so we won't keep her on too long. What did I make of that game? Well, to be fair, I thought it was a good AY sound. It is a maze game, and definitely for that, you know, it was a large enough map to make it more challenging. So for that reason alone, it was the Hunchback version of this game, which was the bonus game. I only gave 5.5 out of 10, which wasn't a great rating by me by any stretch of the imagination. But this personal one, despite the interruption of my own sweet little sister, although I don't know where the sweet comes into things, I'm going to give it a full 8 out of 10. Right, this game I've been looking forward to having a play on. It looks really good. It's a racing game, and it's come via Natasha by ZoomNet. which is available for download free actually, but I always tip the codes anyways. But we can't wait to buy the original copy. There's a loading screen, very nicely done, very good colourful loading screen, and you can see roughly what you're going to do. A bit of a vintage car game set in the 60s and 70s, I would feel. And of course we've got a nice opening AY sound. We've also got the options of your keyboard, Sinclair, Kempston, cursor and then redefinable keys, which is absolutely brilliant. So you've got throttle, brake, left and right and a gear change, and that's pretty much all you're going to need. And he tells a little story. So you press gear to start the game, and then you can select which one of these two you want to do. So we'll go for chip. There we go, 50s. Just listening to the AY tune a little bit. Starts with an opening sequence where you see a shooting star, it becomes day, or a Clyde looking day. Nice little animation throughout the game, to be quite honest, and slowly disappears, his headlights come on and out the garage he drives. That's clever, isn't it, really, to be fair. So let's get to racing. When you get to around about there, you have to change your gear. It's fairly easy to stay on the road. It's not bad at all. Cars can be a little bit annoying. They tend to swerve unexpectedly into your way. And then once you click once or twice, you just lose all your pace and speed. But you don't have to worry about this first section because it's not really about time. You can race if you want, see how fast you can go. The quicker you race, the better. The time and the speed, and so it sort of introduces you into the feel of the game. This first level learns you how to control the road. And the best way to go around the bends is just to take your foot off the accelerator. Occasionally you will have to hit the brake, but as soon as you do that you lose all your pace and speed. You've got a little distance bar at the bottom which is moving across. These will suddenly zoom off in a minute, and even though you're going faster than them, because you catch up with what is an annoyance to white van man, it's a tractor driver. And we have a little conversation with this guy. Don't help touch, I reckon. So it's a nice little intro, and then this sort of obstacle, you zoom, whatever speed you finished at, you start off at, so you're able to continue your pace and momentum. And we'll just move on to the... You can see by the signs of the road which way the bends are going to come. Oh, hard concentration. That's a railway we just crossed. There's one more of those to come, only this time when we come across that one we will really need to stop, because if you don't you'll get taken out by the train, which will be... And now we can go. Having avoided that hazard. And we're nearly there, just a few more bends to go. And we can get on with the next section of the game. And there we go. So there he's pulling up to the drive at the meet, new guy with a new car. A couple of ladies on the background there, of course. It's a good little touch really, isn't it? More than just a racing game, you get an intro. A little bit of almost a good storyline in between, so yeah. nice little bit of animation, and she's not a bad looking piece of pixel art, is she really? Very 50s hairstyle. I kind of like that. Maybe that's just because I'm an old fashioned type of guy. Okay, so moving on to the next section, it's the time trial. Stage 2. Okay, by accelerating you automatically go into the low gear. Some roadworks ahead. Tells you what's up and coming. I'm going to use a bit of hard concentration here. Whoa! See that they can just literally swerve into you. So the scrolling's fairly fast. It feels like you're moving fast. It's not ridiculous with the handling of the car. Cars in front can be well avoided, but you only have to hit one and all the rest of them will catch you up fairly instantly. And we're covering some good ground here. But suddenly the road goes narrow and you have to watch out for that because yeah, that can cause a few problems. You get plenty of warning of the turns. I'm doing quite well for a change. Halfway there. And now because I've hit him, I've lost all my speed. And then all of a sudden, don't matter how much distance you put between all of them, and you're still up, you'll lose 3 or 4 places. So you have to be careful. Nice little background. It's starting to look more like daytime as we carry on. There's your warning. Left and a rapid right. By taking your foot off the acceleration on this game, you actually turn a little bit sharper, so you bear that in mind when you're racing. Now I've kicked him twice, I will lose an awful lot of speed here. There you go. So I've had the trouble of trying to get past that one, and now I've got 40 seconds to go to get to the end, which I should do fairly comfortably, and that's just cost me a bit of time, mind you. And I'm weaving all over the shop like a drunk driver. Terrible. "23 seconds to go, but we're nearly at the end, so I've got plenty of time." Have you noticed you actually don't see the trees, you just see the black silhouette of the trees on the background, which is pretty good. Okay, we've got a well done there. More of the same. Okay, what do I think of the game? Well, to be fair, it's excellent. For a racing game, it's well done. Even the shape of the vision is shaped slightly like you know, what you'd see out of an actual car. Good use of graphics. Obviously monotone, can't be too colourful, but that doesn't take anything away from the enjoyment of the game. There's plenty for you to work through, and yeah, I personally liked it, so for that reason I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Not quite a 10 out of 10, but sound wise, graphics wise, hits all the right spots, playability hits the right spots, and I think it's a pretty good game to play. One for you to get now, available, so please download and enjoy the game. And you've probably seen R.Robbins doing a review of it as well. He does a pretty good review, I believe. I'll enjoy his shows. So, anyway, moving on now as we go back to 1989. So I'll power up the flux capacitor. This is time trial, but we're going back in time now to September, issue number 63. So let's reset the computer. So the first game we're going to have a look at is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, by US Gold of course. It goes £9.99 when it was released on cassette and £12.99 on disc. The presentation was given 83%, the graphics was given 91%, sound 77%, playability was given 72%. That's reasonable. Addictivity was given 74%. Its overall rating was only a 76% for a LucasArts game. Interesting news, there is going to be an Indiana Jones 5. but unfortunately it's been given the Catherine Kennedy treatment. And you saw the way she destroyed the Star Wars franchise, in my opinions. She's going to do the same to Indy, because in Indiana Jones he's made to look like a bungling old fool, and he dies as he steps back in time, meets a younger version of himself, and he probably dies as well. This is rumour, however I cannot substantiate any of my sources, but I do watch Overlord DVD, and he's usually on the money when he says things like that. So what happens in the Indiana Jones 5, without ruining it too much? I'm not going to ruin the story, because the story starts pretty great, but a young female Indiana Jones picks up his whip and takes his hat after he's deceased to continue the Indiana Jones franchise with a female. Once again, proving that Catherine Kennedy just hates anything that's got anything to do with males. Soon there'll be a female blonde James Bond if she was in charge, which is just ridiculous, because it was of its time, it was of the 80s, why ruin it? It's not going to do the fandom any good, but still, hell, these are my thoughts on the subject, and that's me getting quite political. We love you really, Catherine Kennedy. We just love you in another job. Let's have a look at the loading screen then. I like that touch, of course. Lucasfilm Games. And of course it was by US Gold, there you go, that the software. Great little loading screen. As you can see, it's come out of one set of big doors. I've seen better. I think you could, a lot of graphic artists there, they do a lot better than this. I think we got music, but it's so quiet. Yeah, there is an Indiana Jones theme playing, but it's so quiet for 1 to 8K music. Okay, so we've got K for keys, R to redefine, which we'll do now. But that's big enough and clear. And surprisingly enough, I've got the keys the right way around. And we'll start. So select options, K for keys, we can start from there. And S to start. Right, so we're going to start in a cave. I believe you can jump on that. Ah, we fell too far. So you lose your energy if you fall too far. But nevertheless, we've done that now. Oh, collapsible platforms. Is that a snake down there? I bet that's a snake. Or is it? That could be the whip, actually. Yeah, it's the whip. There we go, you got your whip. That's great. Ah, there's a spike that come out. Of course. Right, I think we'll start again. This time we'll try and find out how to jump. That's it. Can we do a running jump by forwards and up? Ah, there we go. We're down the ladder. That is good. Oh. Oh, I fell too far again. That's going to take some energy out of me. Okay. So this time we're going to walk over these platforms. And you can see there's something that comes out there. That's a bad guy. Ah, where have I got him? See that? It was bad collision control, wasn't it, really? Well, the weakness of this game is the sound. It's very poor. Very quiet indeed, which is unusual. The graphics are really nice. It's a little bit sluggish. I just took a fast track to the bottom. And we collected the whip, so this time round there we go. I've got my own back on him now. Is that a pot we got to collect? I don't know. Just in the nick of time. If you got any closer, I would have been dead meat. Ah, then obviously I've got to jump from rope to that section. Oh good, we get to start a little bit further on. This is where we... Oh, I was doing so well. Well, to be fair, it's all monotone. They could have put a little bit of colour in there. For instance, that if it's water or whatever it's meant to be, lava, could have been a yellow. The sound is a little bit lacking. Very disappointed in that. I don't know if I can improve it for you. Indiana has a new high school. Well, congratulations. Don't know if you can hear that. Let's see if I can bring it up to you. It's really quiet. Unusually quiet actually for an AY sound. Most AYs are quite loud. But yeah, marks out of 10. Well, I've got to agree with Crash on that one. I think that was pretty much spot on at 76%. So for that reason, you know, it's nice looking. It's almost there. There was lots more they could have done that they obviously didn't choose to. Just didn't run very smoothly. Probably be better if I can increase the processor speed now using the Next, which I may give it a go and see how it runs with that. But generally speaking, I'm going to give that a 7.5 out of 10. Move on then, let's reset the computer. Next game is by, well you can see it there, Demark. Presentation was given 84, graphics was given 78, sound was 82, playability was 68, addictivity 65%, and its overall rating was 72%. It was originally £9.99 on cassette and £14.99 on disc. So we're going to use the top file. As it came out in the year of 128k sound, it should have 128k sound. We'll have a look at the loading screen briefly. That would have been the loading screen you got while you're waiting for the game to load. Not bad at all, really. These are things that you can collect as you're going up the screen, and basically tells you what they are. So you've got an extra head, extra power, extra life, wide power, evil power, shield power, fire power, ground snake. Interesting. Anyway, see what I mean about the AY sound being slightly louder? I like the way the dragon's kind of flickering in the background there colourfully. That's good. As it runs through the cycles of the colours. Oh, no noise while we redefine the keys. And a bomb. And so we can have H pause. Right then. Okay, so now, oh, I take it you got a bomb in. Yes, you got a bomb in. You've got to use your bomb for that. It's a nice little scroll. I've got to be honest, very nice scroll. Bombs for them on the floor. Your energy is going down every time I get hit, but you know. And I got my first power up. Oh, I need to get him on the floor. That's it. Oh, area 1. So I've obviously bit the dust. Oh, I got a heart. And I got another power up, that's good. Oh, so you don't start right at the start, that's good, isn't it? There's a lot going on though. So I know what's coming up here. The good thing is you don't start right at the beginning if you've got quite far. So it's a pattern recognition game. Oh, I can see my bullets here. Yeah, okay. I'm dropping bombs, but I'm missing them. I'm not doing very well, am I? As always. But then this is possibly the first time I've ever played this, and what I can see of it so far, I'm pretty impressed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video and come back to this and see if I can give it a bit more of a play and then give it a review and show you what I think of it. Oh, look, I've missed one. So the key to getting them is to get them straight away, isn't it? I see. So as soon as you see them come on the screen, get up to there. Wow, the bullets are thick and fast, aren't they? Right, let's come back to this. Well, I gave it a bit more of a play, got a little bit further, so I was able to judge it. Well, I can't understand why it got such a low rating. I quite enjoyed that. 72% Crash gave it, but I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. One for you to try. That's available as a free download, of course, from the TZX Vault, as you like. And yeah, I thought it was quite a good game, to be fair, for the shoot 'em up. Different take from rather than a spaceship, you're a dragon. And I know a few dragons. Only kidding. And I'm not referring to my wonderful sister. Oh, she puts me in her place, bless her. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Reset the computer. Something a little different before we move on to the next review. Lord, that's easy enough for me to say. Got the CD available here by the person who did the music on Down the Pipes. Do you remember that? That excellent bleeper sound for the 48K? Richard Hollings has released that little album there. I'm sure he'll post a link available for you if you want to get a limited edition copy of it, because there won't be that many made. And what it is what you can hear in the background, that wonderful bleeper sound. Some of it with voice samples, but all of it very bouncy. Take a quick listen to it, of course. There's the name on the screen, and it's got an excellent bit of artwork inside on the actual CD itself, which matches the artwork on the front. And yeah, it's quite easy listening actually. It's quite bouncy. It sounds like it's something that's from the future, but was done with technology from another era, wasn't it really? But yeah, I've gone through a few tracks, and to be fair, there's not many you can't like, and they're all pretty good. So one worth getting, why not? Purchase one for the collection. If anything, it just sounds great, to be fair. I'll give you another example. We'll move on to track 7, which has got a bit of a sound sample in it. Sounds of track 7, pretty good. I like this track myself personally. Very bouncy. We'll leave it playing actually for the next review. And there's the CD and the art cover right there for you. You watch that, will interrupt me now. I know that this picks up bleeper sound quite easily. I managed to type that with the CD in the way. And I just talked over the only sound sample in there, I think. There's another one coming out right now. That's quality, isn't it? Yeah. One for your collection. You must try and get it. There's only a limited edition of these available, and you'll be lucky to get one, to be fair. But worth having in your collection. Great bit of 8-bit music. Amazing what the Spectrum was still capable of, even to this day. Okay, Maze Mania is the game next up on for the Retro Robbins treatment. By Houston, of course. This game would have cost you £9.99, and the percentages are as follows. Presentation was given 87%, graphics 85%, sound 81%, playability 81% as well. A lot of 80s in this, isn't there? Well, fortunately it changes now. The addictivity was given 76%, and its overall rating, well, that was given 77%. And of course, you get a bleeper sound to start with. We can also redefine the keys. You're going to have your usual directions. Jump will be M, as I'm using the rubber keyboard. And then we're going to start by pressing the key selected. And what you've got to do is you've got to turn all these over to blue. And you've got to go around the maze and try and avoid any nasties. It's quite a nice game, I think. Very smooth scrolling. A little touch on the blocky side. And occasionally you'll get a purple one as well, won't you? But once you turn them all the colour through the entire maze, and I've just lost a life there. But you haven't got to go all over the maze again, because once you've done it, yes, I managed to jump. That's the jump, so that's good. We're getting there. Oh. I wanted to avoid him. This is a hard one to get. And I've slipped off it. That was a hard one to get with a lot of them, because you've got to jump sort of perfect timing, really. That's an unusual one. That must be the last one you changed, look. But I'll tell you what, it's a nice looking game, isn't it? I think it's fun. I love this sort of a game, to be honest with you. A little bit different from a platformer for me, and quite interesting. Be interesting if I can get any further to see what the other levels are like. There's another purple one. Sorry, purple. It's not purple. Oh, they're getting the colours wrong for the spectrum. Do you know, if you could have an extra colour on the spectrum, what would you choose? Apart from the 7, what would be probably a good colour to have? I think silver, because a lot of games like a look of metal in them, doesn't they? Doesn't they? Don't they? Doesn't they isn't a word, is it? Okay, so you get the general idea. We're going to get to the annoying bleeper sound. I'll tell you what, considering it only got 72%, I quite like that game. I thought it was well done. I'd give that 100%, 8 out of 10. Why not? Yeah, graphically very nice, colourful around the edges. You know, there's nothing too difficult about it. And even the start menu isn't all that bad either. So yeah, what am I going to rate that at? Well, I'm going to give that an 8.5 out of 10. Crash gave it overall 72. I think it deserved better than that, as I thought it was a pretty good game in general. Let's reset the computer then. And then before we go for some more Commodore versus Spectrum, what's on the list today? Next game was by Virgin. It was $6.99. We're going to load it in a moment. We'll have a look at the loading screen. I like the loading screen on this one. It's very nicely done indeed. Of course, I've put my microphone a bit closer so you can hear me. Presentation 80%. Graphics was given 61%. However, I think that was a bit low. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Sound 77%. Playability 65%. Addictiveness 59%. Its overall rating was a dismal, only 63%, which is not the best rating in the world ever. So let's load the game to have a look at it. We'll wait at the loading screen. It has got 1 to 8K version and music AY sound on it, so that's good. There's the loading screen, and you can see that is very nicely done indeed. Okay, so we just press any key when we're ready. I like the little colourful Gemini king ring at the top. There seems to be 3 colours there in that one sprite, which is cleverly done, but it's not. You know, you can't have more than 2 colours in one palette. But yeah. So we got choice of Kempston keyboard or Sinclair, the usual. As I don't know what the keys are, I'm going to go for Kempston. And we'll get a little loading sequence while it loads up each level, which now in this day and age is not a problem. But before the on-call of the tap file, you'd have had to wait quite a while to load the first level. And slight delay, and as soon as you press a button, we start. Rapid fire by holding your button down. You've got power-ups as well, which is good, but it's another top-down shoot 'em up, isn't it, really? And there's so many of these around, but, you know, as you can see, I've just got a more powerful weapon, which is good. That would help me in the long run. Interesting terrain. I've lost my life. You've got to watch these bullets, they come out of nowhere. Yeah, there's things on the ground you have to watch out. You can hardly see. If you're not too careful, you can get destroyed. But you can see the bullets quite clearly. And of course, they're a different colour to the background with no real colour clash to note. That you can notice, to be fair. Right, if I can get a few of these power-ups. That's better. Now we've got some proper weapons, haven't we? As soon as you die, you lose all your weapons, of course. But you can regain them pretty quickly. They was home-seeking missiles, was they? And now I find the key to the games like this is pattern recognition, knowing what comes where and when. Yeah, not too bad for a shoot 'em up. Crash gave it a low rating. I do like the death sequence AY, sounds pretty good, isn't it? And of course, yeah. Did I get a high score? No. I did. I've got to put my name in, haven't I? Okay. Well, what am I going to say about that game? Well, to be fair, it's another shoot 'em up, and there's a lot of them around. That one was quite well done and enjoyable to play. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Right, moving on. Last week, as you remember, deserved victory for Spectrum. But who is going to win on Commodore versus Spectrum? Coming up right now. Okay, the game we're going to have a look at today is Vixen, and however, we just got to load it up now, see how we get on. I don't think I've done this one. I feel like I've done this one, but I haven't. I know I've reviewed it for the Spectrum, and it wasn't a bad game at all. So, you've got a lot to live up to here, Commodore. Obviously, I'm using the Kung Fu Flash to load the games today. Yes, I know. 88, really? That long ago? For the Commodore? Was it a year before the Spectrum? Honestly? Whoops. Done it again. F1 for keys or... Straight into the game. And of course you've got to get them foxes' heads, haven't you? Yeah, got 2 of them. What's the mystery? Extra time required. Oh no, I've drowned. Oh, good thing is I can start off when I die. Oh, drowned again. Hey! For this game you have to stay low, don't you? I've got through the first bit. Oh, I like the way the score's going. Does that me really score that many? I don't think that's the case. Alright, that's enough. 10 years later. 15 now. That's way too long. Have I broke it? I think I broke it. Look at the score, just keep going. I could stay all day and look at the score. But we don't want to look at that. We're going to go and have a look at the Spectrum version. How about that then? That's the high score I'll ever have. Okay, so we're going to load this with a 128k version. And I'm also using joystick. Nice loading screen on the Spectrum. Didn't get to see the Commodore one. Good start. Nice 8-way tune. Screen's not as good as the Commodore with the bouncing vixen, is it? But we won't judge it on that just yet. Oh no, I've jumped when I wanted to dive. Oh look. Oh, this one's a little bit harder. Oh, if you press fire it stops you in mid-air. That was not fair. Oh, and of course I didn't turn around in time, did I? Oh, that must be deaf. Well, the graphics are sharper on the Spectrum version. Colours are nice though as well, aren't they? So, you know, it's not too bad a game, is it? And you get a nice tune there. Oh, and that was just a short scoring. And that fox is nearly at the top, isn't he? Is that something I can collect on the tree or something? Ugh. Big jump! Oh, that was unfair. Oh. I like it though. Oh, this is going to be a tough one today, isn't it? No gems and it's broken. What happened? Let's try again, shall we? It's got a nice start graphically, hasn't it? I'm very disappointed with that now to start with. I like the music in the background. Where the Spectrum didn't have music. And she actually moves when you fire, look. She doesn't stop in mid-air like she does on the Spectrum. This is not looking good, I'm afraid. Even though I'm rubbish at it. I'm just dying every 5 minutes, aren't I? But I've got the cheats in, so it doesn't matter. Okay, stop now. Here comes my verdict. I've gone for the Spectrum version. Why? Because for about the third time in a row, this has happened. Look at the Spectrum playing in the background. Look, the score's just going up and up and up and up and up. And it won't let me go any further. So it's a bit glitchy on the Commodore. It's kind of nice though, isn't it, the Commodore version? I can't knock it. If I could get it to work properly, then I would have properly judged it. But the Spectrum version, despite the lack of sound, plays really, really well. It's graphically very pleasing. And if I could remember what the keys was, I'd probably be able to play a better go because I don't really a joystick fan. However, it is good the way you start from on both games are a really good version. I don't know. I mean, Commodore's SID sound in the background would have won it if it hadn't glitched on it, I think. But because in mid-air, if you do that, you do stop yourself where you can't in the Commodore version. Oh. We're nearly there again. We're nearly at the end. I'm enjoying myself too much, aren't I? Anyway, we better pull the show to an end. Finally, another 2 in a row for the Spectrum. And that would have been a Commodore one possibly, you know, if it have run as well as it did. So remember, as always, from R.Robbins, if you do like the show, please leave a comment. Remember, the show is only a matter of opinion. And of course that's my opinion. And of course you may not necessarily agree with it. But if you don't, that's fine. Leave a comment, tell me why. I'll be interested and eager to know. Remember, I'm not an expert. I know a lot about the Spectrum stuff, but I'm not an expert in any stretch of the imagination. As always, thank you all to my new subscribers. Thank you all for watching. And of course I'll be doing more content like this for you in the future. So please remember to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. And as OJ Duffy would say, don't get hating on the video. Just, you know, tell me what you think. In the meantime, for me, Wayne R.Robbins, whenever you watch this, have a nice working week or weekend. Take care now. I'll see you again soon.